Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on what part of the world you are in. This is Big Girl Diary. Oh man, okay. How many of you remember 1975? Okay. Well, okay, on video. How about that? 1975, Kiss. You hear the screaming. Then you hear the drums. I wanna rock and roll all night. And put, man, I'm so silly. Okay, Kiss, the band Kiss ruled the 1970s into the 80s. I mean, they were number one. And if you were a guitar player, if you want to be Gene Simmons, all the guys want the long tongues because you all are nasty. Okay, just want to throw that out there. Nasty. Everybody wants to be Paul Stanley. Beth, I hear you calling, and I can't come home right now. All the guys were saying that, you know, I just want to hang out with the guys, okay? I want to hang out with the guys. You gave so many excuses, Kiss, but you're getting sued. Not for that. You should have got sued for that. Yeah, most definitely. But no, not for that. Kiss finds itself in a political fallout. Yes, the hot damn, right? All these music references. But they find themselves in a lot of trouble. Now, what's interesting about it is that if the wig person that does their wigs prevails, it's going to be something for bands that let their staff go because of the 19, And that's what this is about. So between 2022 until now, there are lawsuits. And they tried to settle, but let me bring this up real quick. Let me bring this up because I thought this was very interesting. Oh, before I get to that, let me go ahead and show you this. Okay, 1975. People shouting, I wanna rock and roll all night and party every day. I wanna rock and roll all night and party every day. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I just had to show that. I just had to show that. My brother was a huge Kiss fan, and he had the curly, big wigs and the guitar out with his friends. Okay, that's enough of the nostalgia. All right. But what I do want to show you is this article, because this is going to it's going to make or break some bands by following the governmental rules. Fauci, no matter where you go, you are destroying lives, Fauci. Yeah, you and only you. All right. Okay, here. Okay, the lawsuit over firing after the concerns poses serious risk, judge says. And he most definitely, the judge is most definitely right, because no matter which way it goes, it's not going to be good. But besides the right, it's a little bit more than that why some of the people are suing. So a judge is urging Kiss rocker Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley, the music manager Doc McGee, and Kiss's tour manager company, to consider settling a lawsuit brought by the famed band's longtime wig stylist over alleged mistreatment on tour. Okay. Now, but it goes a little deeper. The lawsuit, first filed in February 2023, alleges Kiss depraved plaintiff David Mathews of a long-time wages and wages inadequate breaks, and when wrongfully terminated in 2020 after he voiced concerns about the band's protocol surrounding the pandemic area, shows after nearly 2 years of wrangling, a trial is set to begin in January 22nd, 2025. So now this holds a whole lot, because KISS isn't the only one. There are many bands that go out on tour that had to struggle with the same thing. So having to follow protocols with the Fauci and the Fauci ouchie and the ouchie ouchie, because not all people took the ouchie ouchie. Not all people did it. And those who did, okay, I'm going to leave that political part alone. But now, if Mr. McGee prevails due to the wrongful firing, because a lot of people lost their jobs, they did, and their lives were in complete turmoil due to the political protocol. The Ouchie's protocol that the whole United States had to adhere to. Now, before I go any further, you want to know who's not going to get sued? Fauci, the government, and the pharma will not be sued. But you know who's on the hook? The employers. They're on the hook. So it's going to get ugly. Now, the judge made a valid point when he said that this is risky, and it is. If McGee wins, all bands, it just takes one precedent, just one. The door's going to fly open, and everybody and their mama and their nursing shoes are going to be suing. It's no laughing matter. It isn't. But however, it's just a terrible situation, because the band had to do it, and whatever the reasons why that they felt to let people go, whatever the reasons were, they felt that they had it right to do that. Now, McGee, the wig person, his life has been in complete turmoil due to not being able to pay bills and not having that income that he relied on. It's going to be interesting how this settles out. But let's go back to what is it? Let me see. Do I want to bring anything else up? Nope. That was. Oh, wait a minute. There's a little bit more. Let me bring that up. Okay, here. The first time I saw this lawsuit, and that's what Gene Simmons was saying, it was clear that both sides had very serious risk. If it goes to trial, then it would not surprise me if Mr. Matthews got nothing. It would not surprise me if he made a big pot of money. So it's either way. This is the kind of case any rational person would settle. And this is the interesting part. Settle. And KISS didn't settle. I found that, like, what are you doing? But there's a big risk that this could all swing dramatically one way or the other. The Los Angeles County Superior Court Judge Armen Tamzanian told the lawyers on both sides during Friday's hearing, this is a tough case for the plaintiff to win. But if he wins, there are deep, deep pockets there. And there could be a big result. And that, oh man, KISS, they have a lot of money. Well, I don't know what's in their pockets, but he's saying deep, deep pockets. I could only go according to what they're saying, because they know at least somewhat what kind of money they have. So Judge Tamzanian spent 20 minutes hearing both arguments, but declined to issue a ruling Friday on Kiss' request that he reject all 6 causes of action for being allegedly defective. That's quite interesting. The issues are complicated. I do not know that I'm going to. I don't know when. I'm sorry. I do not know what I'm going to do with this, the judge said, with no immediate decision. The only thing that seems clear Friday was that some portion of the lawsuit was to be expected to proceed. Both confident in your you're both confident in your positions, he warned the dueling lawyers. During the 20-minute hearing in downtown Los Angeles, a lawyer for Kiss argued that Matthews was an independent contractor but not protected by the California law while traveling on tour. Wow. Oh, wow. Man, okay. That's interesting. So he wasn't he wasn't an hourly employee. He was a contractor. So he gets paid that, and that's it. He has no protections whatsoever. Sometimes it's kind of rough being a 1099 contractor. Ooh. Okay. The attorney Jennifer Raphael Komsky conceded Kiss play 11 shows in California during the time in question, but she argued that the underlying lawsuit, sorry about that, was focused on the alleged incidents in Illinois and South America, not California. She said the law in those locations applied. Ooh, okay. The lawyer for Matthews, meanwhile, argued that his client was a full employee based in California where the wigs were stored. Okay. Anthony Barata said Mathew, in his capacity as an employee, was protected even on tour in California regulation and requires his employer to effectively identify and respond to persons with the 19 symptoms. And in his lawsuit, Mathew alleged Simmons was noticeably ill during the South American tour in 2022 and performed after testing positive. Oh, man, Gene. Oh, man, Gene, you did that. You did that, Gene. Wow. Okay. But Judge, and I see why he says this is complicated, because he's sick down there in South America, and he tested positive, and then the wig person, he's storing the wigs in California. He says he's a full-time employee in California, and even though he's based in California, he's a full-time employee, saying that stretches all over the world. Now you say, I'm not a lawyer, but I know what makes sense. That makes sense, because he's still getting paid the same amount of money as if he were in California, or if he was in Oklahoma, or if he was in Buenos Aires, or whether if he was in Mexico City, he still get paid the same money. Interesting. All right. Friday, he was having trouble viewing Mathew as an independent contractor. I'm not sure if I'm buying that argument. Let's say he had his own hair studio in Beverly Hills, and every time they went on tour, they went to him and fix up their hair. That's one thing. He didn't have his own studio. That's true. He didn't have a studio, so wherever they went, he went, and the wigs went, and he did the wigs wherever they were. That's going to be a tough one, but that's an interesting point. But he didn't cut anyone's hair. He didn't cut anyone else's hair. All he did for the couple of years was to cut the hair of those guys, and had some side gigs, but they weren't. I'm sorry. But they weren't side gigs in hair. The judge said, this is going to be interesting. But the judge challenges Mathew's position as well. He said the government official issued a lot of accommodations to certain employees amid the pandemic, but he wasn't convinced there was a statute that required Simmons to wear a mask. That's interesting, while doing his job. So if he's singing, do I have a mask? Okay. I wanna rock and roll all night and party every day. I don't think that would work well. I don't know. And plus, the girls want to see his tongue. Okay. Still nasty, but I'm unaware of any law or regulations about someone who is in a rock and roll band and somebody who does their hair where the performance who's wearing makeup and has a mask on. That is true. So the judge says from the bench, after they put the makeup on, Gene Simmons still could have put on a mask. Okay, let's take a look at Gene Simmons. All right. Let's take a look at him. Now, imagine him wearing a mask. Okay, let's just imagine this. Okay, I didn't mean for that to happen. Come on, go away, go away. Okay, imagine him wearing a mask. I want to rock and roll all night and party every day. Okay, imagine a mask. Imagine that. Oh, I should make that bigger. Okay, could you imagine him wearing a mask with all the makeup on and singing? This is going to be a tough one. A tough one. That's going to be very tough. Uh-oh. Charge up my laptop. Okay. Okay, so that's quite that right there's an excellent point. That's going to be interesting. But the makeup and the makeup and ruined the whole point. Is that the way? Is that what you're saying? They could have done. It is. It's not practical for how they do things, and that right there, I gotta say that he most definitely has a point. So they're gonna come back and reconvene January 6th. So, what are your thoughts? Do you think the wig maker may have a point? Do you think because he got Gene Simmons got sick and then came up positive, and the wig maker lost his job, and the wig maker did not have his own studio, and he mostly worked for them and maybe did a little side here, there, a little there, but for a couple of years he was dedicated to the band? This is going to be quite interesting, very, very interesting. But I will say, please like and subscribe. Oh, and you could go on my Instagram. I have a membership there, subscription. Join there, and we could talk a little bit more there. So